Have a good night. Elisa,
Night, sir.
how you doing?
Not much, sir.
Boy, you know, from me, I try to log on to the class.
That's what I've been hearing from the other lecturers.
And then no, I don't know what has happened because I am trying to log on. Matter of fact, I logged in from about 6:30. And then it says to me, wait off until the meeting's supposed to start, whatever. Um, Came back, and then I'm seeing lecturers, some like 2 lecturers, as a matter of fact, sending me an email to say they can't join my meeting. I was like, join my meeting. After me, not have a meeting with owner. I'm class more and go. And I just had to abandon the computer and say, you know what? Let me join it from my phone and see if I can get in. I don't know. So your lecturer for the 5 to 7 class had a problem too?
Yes, sir, because he came in after 5:30, and some of the students said that if sir don't reach by 6 o'clock, they're leaving the class. So he came in between 5:30 to 6 o'clock. So he was having a problem logging on into the class.
I was having a serious issue trying to get on. So when you get on, you saw anybody else? Anybody came and left?
So I haven't seen anybody else.
No, so
That's
I don't know.
it.
I don't know what is happening. I really don't. I can't tell you what is happening because, as I said before, I logged on from about 6:30 because I wasn't feeling too
Is it
well.
a thing? Is it a thing that every first week of each semester, when
We're having this
classes to
problem.
start back? Yes, sir.
I don't know. I don't
Because I
know.
realized it the semester before, last semester, and the years before.
I don't know what is happening, but all I can tell you is say it it was a good workout a while ago. Just to log on. Good workout.
So
And
you're
I said,
using your phone now, sir, or the laptop?
I'm using my phone now because I can't get onto the laptop. When I do it on a laptop, it's notifying some other staff member that I am scheduling a meeting. I can't schedule no meeting at 7 o'clock. We can't schedule no meeting until after 5 o'clock. School done. Matter of fact, school done them time. I don't know. I don't know what is happening. So I suspect that nobody else is going to come because I guess they're having, and then something came up on the system that I must use my one-time student account. I'm not a student.
That
So I said,
don't make
okay,
no sense.
let me use my login for my desktop. Use the login for the desktop. It kicked me out.
That's weird.
And see here now, it says, okay, so what happens now is that I set up something on the computer for my Zoom classes to come up automatically.
Yes, sir.
All right. So it says Zoom for Google Workspace. It has my ECC stuff. And then it gives me Zoom meetings, updated Zoom class guide, Monday, February 6, 2023 at 7 p.m. Let me click start one more time. So it says to click start.
Because what I had to use to log into class, sir, is the general class guide, student class guide.
Oh.
I didn't have an individual link sent to my email, my school email. And at the same time, I'm using my mother's login, but I just changed her name to mine.
But hold on then now. When I do this, it is giving me a notification that I think something is wrong. Markman is inviting me to schedule a Zoom meeting Monday. What the heck?
What's it? It's need to sort out.
Oh no, that's not. That's why those staff members are messaging me to say that they can't. Do me a favor. Look and tell me what is the meeting ID for the Zoom class tonight.
The meeting ID for tonight is 949-414-53484.
Okay, that's a problem because what I'm seeing here is a different meeting ID, 98288420665.
Huh?
Oh yeah. That explains why I'm having that challenge. Okay. How many students in your group? Well,
Oh, 3 of
yeah,
us, sir.
you, Venika, and who?
And Dowdy, Daniela Dowdy.
Daniela, right? I don't know, my dear. I don't know. Oh Lord.
It seems as if Vinika is heading home at the moment.
Right. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say. And I suspected that I was going to have a challenge logging into the class. Hence, me logging on from about 6:30, you know.
So that's why you try so early.
That's why I tried so early, because I suspected that I was going to have a challenge. I suspected that I was going to have a challenge. No. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to create how do I do this, Lord? And that's a challenge, because if I do that, can I do that and record it? Because
Isn't it already recording, sir?
it isn't, no, but it's just like this Zoom not coming up at all for me. So in terms of me sharing a screen to show you.
So is it that you can punch in the meeting ID manually and the password?
That's what I did on my phone. That's what I did on my phone. Let me see if I do this. And all I want is just to make sure that. What I was thinking of when I said recording, I was thinking of Google Meet.
Okay.
I was thinking of Google Meet. And share your meeting, copy this link and send it to people who watch a bit. It's for Right, I just sent you an email. I'm just trying something in the interim. You see the email?
The school email, sir.
Yeah. I think I mean I've sent it to your work email. I think that's
Just
what.
pull up the work one.
What here? What is happening to the?
Yes, sir. I see an invite.
Yeah, click on the invite. Click on the invite for me, please.
Good night, sir. Good night, Alicia.
Hey,
Good night,
Benita.
No. You had a challenge getting on the list?
Oh, sir, I'm still traveling home and my phone died. So that's what
Oh.
happened. Yes, sir.
No, but I'm just saying. So, in logging on, you never had a challenge at all?
No challenge. Just click on the link that was in the class links. And that was it.
Mm.
Never asked for video.
But I'm having a. You got onto it, Alicia?
It said ask for joining, so I'm using my mother's login, sir.
All right, abort that plan. Never mind, abort it.
Okay.
All right, then let me see if I can. I'm gonna go to another. I'm gonna go to another device. Well, I don't know what is happening to me. Ay.
Like, it is really, really slow tonight.
Yeah, it is. All right, so I have somewhat overcome this
That
challenge.
hurdle, sir.
Yes, thanks. And I'm just laughing at the devil now and say, ha, ha,
Exactly.
ha, ha, ha. Because I'm wondering what on earth was happening. All right. So it's just one person that is really missing, and I think we can begin. How far are you from home, Benika? Oh, shit.
Yeah, almost home. Almost home.
Oh, almost home. All right, no problem. All right, so I will share with you, not right, no, but I will share with you your syllabus for the course, and just have a little conversation. It's only three of us. I would expect we can complete the syllabus pretty early. I don't have a whole lot of students to contend with to wait on. So I guess when I would have assigned work, we can get through the work pretty quickly and out of the way and la di la la di dee. Let me get from you, the pair of you. Have you done chemistry before? Did you do chemistry up to fifth form?
High school, yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
You did chemistry up to fifth form. Great. Um, nice.
No, not chemistry in fifth form. I think it was third form I did chemistry.
Oh, you did chemistry in third form.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You did it. You did it up to fifth form, Benika.
Yes, sir.
You did it beyond fifth form.
No, sir. Environmental science.
On the
Mm-mm.
environmental science. All right. So what I have noticed based on the syllabus that was given to me, I noticed it didn't ask for some stuff. And then I came across a recent paper um, recently where I'm seeing them asking for some of the basic stuff. So I said to myself, okay, so when next I am teaching this course, I am going to go through the gamut of it so that people are pretty much aware. All right, let me have a little conversation with you. Where I'm going is in terms of the whole business of formula writing, the whole business of you knowing, what the compound is. I remember, well, not you, Alicia, but for Benika, we were doing when we looked at geology, we had to we had to come up with some compounds. Is it calcium carbonate? When you go out into the field and you see quartz, what is the constituents of quartz? Silicon dioxide, for argument's sake, how do you write the formulation for silicon dioxide? You may see a carbonate in in an exposure. As an environmentalist, you're seeing this exposure coming up, and somebody says, you say to yourself, let me go and test it. And they use a little dilute hydrochloric acid, and you see rapid effervescence coming off. And then you say to yourself, yep, it is a carbonate. And of course, somebody will say to you, before you say that it's a carbonate, we need to test the gas that comes off. But because you suspect, because of that rapid effervescence, and what I mean by rapid effervescence, think of you purchasing a bottle of soda or a bottle of
Mm-hmm.
wine, and you know you somehow you know um I don't want to say
Shake
stupidly,
it
but
up.
But unfortunately, you shut that bottle up and then decide to open it, it's going to fizz. And that rapid fizz is what we call effervescence, right? Now, what we'll do if we're in the field and we really want to be sure that this is a carbonate, we can go ahead and run that gas through some lime water or calcium hydroxide if you're in the lab. And if it turns milky white, cloudy, that will be the presence of carbon dioxide. And
Sir,
yes,
sorry to
there
cut
is.
you, but will we be doing labs?
Um, I I would want to one of these days to take you in the lab to show you how to do a titration. You may know how to do the titration already, Vanika, but just to introduce the group to a titration, that is a
Mhm.
plan of mine. I would really want to take you into the lab. But if that were so, it couldn't be this class, the 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. It will have to be
Earlier class.
the 5 to 7.
Yeah.
But guess what now? Unfortunately, that 5 to 7 class on a Wednesday, I teach a calculus class from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So it's one of two things. I could conduct that class in commute until I get home, um, and and finish off. Um, or what I may do is just, yeah, I would want to maybe take it into the lab, not every day, but one of these days, or we so arrange one of these days. How is work for you, Benika? The schedule, that is.
Oh, I have a few audits scheduled, but I'd have to check the date. But regular, 8 to 5,
8 to 5. All right.
unless I'd have to specify the specific date. I look up the specific date.
All right. Good. Because I know I have Miss Henry at my disposal. You hear me say it? But I don't know, maybe one of these days, and you're not too far from school, right, Benika?
Right, sir.
Good. So maybe one of these days, should we find the need to do a lab, I could sort of arrange it, say within a lunch hour time, so you won't be missing per se, and we just come and we just do a quick lab and I just show you a quick thing and then we'll call it a day. I don't know how that sounds.
Okay, sir, we could work on it and
Yeah, man,
ask for some time if possible.
yeah, man. So what I'll do is maybe schedule a lab for like about a 45 minutes just to get you up to speed with the titration, and if there's any other thing that I've planned, and if it is that we need an extra half an hour, maybe it could, and it won't be every week, right? You could just ask for that extra time, so forth and so on. Um, yeah, but yes, so I would really want to get into some lab component of it because you really can't separate the chemistry from the environment, because the environment is filled with a lot of chemistry. Another case in point, recently somebody said that they found gold in Trelawney, and I don't know your thoughts on it. I heard some friends of mine,
That wasn't it diamond as well? Gold and diamond? Like
no,
gold on the eastern and I also heard somebody saying something about the diamond on the west. Something like that. I
all
was
right,
like,
go
that
ahead.
was here in Jamaica?
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not diamond and it's not gold. What it's called is pyrite, and pyrite has
Mhm.
a nickname as fool's gold, right? So you will see pyrite, because I too have found pyrite in the field, and when I saw it, I was like, Rockstone, me rich. I found gold. And when my field partner and I were up in Mavis Bank, and we saw a lovely exposure. Now I was very intrigued about this exposure that we saw, and I was like, no man. And when we saw this stuff, You want to say we had dig off piece of the sample, man, or break off piece of the sample, you know. And I don't think we did anything else in the field because kill we did. We found gold. And we said nothing to anybody because I was saying, we're going to get one A for the course here because we bright, we find gold. And to my surprise, to our surprise, when we took it back into the lab, we recognized that it's not gold, it's pyrite. It's fool's gold. So our lecturer took it to the lab. Fool's gold is really soft and breaks easily. It contains a lot of impurities, and that's one of the the experiments that I'd want to show you in the class in a lab. Well, it's one of the things I want to show you in a lab in book class. We're in class. It's something that is called electrolysis. Something that is called, one of the labs that is called electrolysis. Now, electrolysis is if we were to use that fool's gold to try and purify it, the amount of impurities that will come out of it, the gold that you'll get from it is little to nothing. Really little to nothing. So you'd have to go get, chances are if you get, I don't even know what to tell you. Okay, if you get a brick, one of those bricks, the construction bricks, not the blocks, the bricks of pyrite, chances are when you purify it, you may get, if you get as much of a teaspoon of gold. You know what a brick looks like? You know what they used to make like the walkway, the
Yes, sir.
right. So if
Our
you get
Port
a
Royal.
Port Royal, yeah. Oh jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what a way the man them fix up the place on this so nice.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I'm just wondering if it's sustainable. Because when I went there recently, and I looked at it, the pier, I don't know if it is attracting traffic for the upkeep and so forth. I don't want all of that money just to be spent and then you can have grass growing between those bricks. But anyhow, so when you look at the bricks, if you have a brick and you try to purify a brick of pyrite, that is, and you try to purify it, what you may come out with could be a teaspoon, if as much of a teaspoon of gold, pure gold. And you know what a teaspoon looks like. It's like about 5 milliliters, worth of liquid. And I said before, if it is that much you get from it. So the process of electrolysis is so costly. It is so costly to do the electrolysis because we use different compounds, maybe sometimes arsenic, as one of the components to extract the impurities from it. And so that teaspoon of gold, if you were to make an earring, for argument's sake, you couldn't purchase that earring because they'd have to pass on the cost to you. I don't know if you see the point I'm making. So the Syrians will sell a knob for maybe $3,000 a pair. If I do that, I may end up selling it for $60,000 because I have to recover the cost that it would have costed me to do this. Am I making any sense?
Yes, sir. So it don't
Yep.
make much sense. Nobody
It
not
don't
gonna
make
buy
nobody
it.
not gonna buy it. Not a soul gonna buy it. So that's why it's not lucrative. It really isn't lucrative because it requires us way too much. So the whole business of electrolysis is that I want you to see it. I want you to even see it in real time. I maybe I could see if I could plan something. I remember teaching chemistry some years ago. I have a friend who is a driller, and I invited him to take his electrolysis machine, and I had a silver ring at the time, and he wanted something to electrolyze. And I said, hey, let me offer up my silver ring. And, he did the electrolysis and he electroplated the ring. He brought a little bit of gold with him and, put it at one of the electrodes and something else at the other electrode. And the ring is at one electrode and the gold is at the other electrode, and he was able to electroplate it. So, sometimes, going to buy a gold-plated earring or bracelet or chain, that's exactly the process that they use. So I just want to expose you guys to that, to that. One of the other things that I really want to expose you guys to is the whole business of effluence into the harbor, into the ocean. Um, so and this today is just a little conversation as to where we're going. As I said before, I'm not worried. It's just three of us. I know we'll get through the stuff. It's going to include a lot of reading. One of the things that I'm going to do, I'm going to see if I can scan and upload to your Canvas some of the reading material so that you can have those readings done up for class, so we can have conversations. So one of the conversations that I know I want to have with you is the whole business of pollution of our ocean. I remember when I last taught this course, there was a student who she says she's going to go to NSWMA to become the director. And I said to her, the sky's the limit. You just listen out for when it is that them have applications. Have your bachelor's in environmental science.
Sir, that was one of my options.
Yes, ma'am. So you're not going to fight for the position, right? So just hurry up and make sure you finish your stuff because you can become the assistant director. Now, why am I saying this? A lot of the hoteliers, and these are some of the readings that we will have to do, a lot of the hoteliers empty their effluents into the ocean. No, I know.
And factories, sir.
Oh yeah. So the factories do that. Yeah. So I mean, the last time we had a serious conversation, and Benika should be able to remember this in the summer, where Windalco emptied their effluents into the Cobre, and it had a lot of fish kill. Remember, Benika?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But this other type of effluent that I'm talking about is sewage. So the hoteliers, um, because they don't want to pay to remove sewage from their compound, they will have their own sewage treatment plant. And if there is way too much to produce, what they do sometimes is to pull the plug and to empty some of the effluents into the ocean.
And the
No,
organisms.
say it again.
That's it. I was saying that which harms the organisms in the ocean.
Harm them and kill them. And it
Yes.
also poses some health risk for us when we go and we have the fish and the shrimp and the lobster and the conch and you name it. And you may say, oh, sir, but I don't eat seafood, and that's fine. But you also bathe I mean, go to the beach into the so you may have um possibly some skin ulcers that will come out on you, etc., etc. So we have to, and you may say, but sir, we don't really want to deal with that. You don't know where this life is going to take you. You may very well end up into with NEPA, that you have to go around and to take samples of the the ocean around. Case in point, Benika spoke about Port Royal. Sometime in the summer, and I do this very often, if I am feeling a little bit pressured, I will leave work or I'll leave home, depending on where I'm at, and just drive down to Port Royal because it's a long drive for me, based on where I live. It will take me about an hour, to navigate and to get down there. Not talking about 3 hours, speed driving, just taking my own little time and going down. And I remember doing that recently, late last year, and yeah, it could be in first semester. And in going down, yes, I saw the lovely bricks, alongside there. But then I went and I bought something at Gloria, and the guys told me that's going to take about half an hour. I said, what the heck? Half an hour won't kill me. It so happened that I had my Excelsior shirt on. And while I was walking along the pier, a gentleman who was in a boat saw me come in my Excelsior shirt and like, him I wonder if Excelsior have one campus down there now. So I said, no. And he had a long conversation with me and let me know that he was once a student at Excelsior and how him loved the place and him really want to come back to school. I said, hey, so what kind of work you do? And then he says to me that he works with NEPA. So that's another thing that I want to do with you, Venica. Not just you alone. I really want to visit with you, visit the class, take the class on a visit to NEPA, take the class on a visit to International Seabed Authority, so you can see some of the things that are happening and what some of the things that they do. Because this gentleman, he rides up and down on a boat with his colleagues. He takes water sample at different points in the ocean, and there is a map. There is a map of the different points in the ocean supplied by NEPA that they take samples of. They label these vials of container, they take it back to the lab and they test it. So if when they go there and they test it and they recognize that there is a lot of fecal matter, fecal feces, they will now start to doing an investigation to say, hey, at this location, XYZ, we found this amount of fecal matter. Then they are going to be sending their team of divers to go and to see if there is any tube there causing or emptying their effluents into the ocean. So it is very interesting because I was like, wow, and it just kind of struck my level of interest. So we will need to know how to go about treating it, how to go about cleaning the ocean, because remember we have to be saving aquatic plants and animals. We don't want it, and then now if the water is, if you have too much algae building up, you're gonna have fish kill, plant kill, and it's going to take quite a bit to restore the environment. And already along the Palisades, we have so much plastic, or so many plastic bottles that are thrown in the area that end up getting between the mangroves, that these I know the crocodiles and the alligators live within the mangroves. This is their habitat. And when we cut out the mangroves, and which is another area of the environmental chemistry, when we cut out the mangroves, it means that we are dislocating these um, life forms. So if you look in Portmore, for argument's sake, I don't know how many of you recognize that there are lots more um, crocodiles walking around. Anybody ever seen in recent news them catch a crocodile in a like a swamp area or walking up and down on the streets in Portmore? Anybody see that in news or on TikTok or anywhere? Yeah, no?
No, sir.
Yeah, man, it happens. And the reason you have these massive land creatures coming into our space is because we continue to disrupt the environment. So we cut out to build houses and build roads and build different forms of infrastructure, and we push them out, and the push we push them out, they decide that, here the plan, I'm going to go into this tavern to live, I'm going to reproduce, and them reproducing now you have in your backyard. I remember one night I've dropped off, we were dropping off some people in Portmore, and one such person lived in Bridgeview, and it so happened that where they live, it's right at the back of the canal, or on the edge of the canal, I should say. And I remember the night, could be at about 10 o'clock, we're dropping off, and one heap of people out there, we said, wait, what go on? And while we were driving down, somebody found me down and said, no, not go no further. And I was like, what is happening? They said that somebody sighted a crocodile um, around the place. And then the person that we are dropping off said, but I live right there. Them said, well, we don't know how you're going to get into your house, but this is what we saw. So we had to be turn on the beam of the car so the person could call somebody inside and say, here the plan. Open this side of the house, don't open that side, and let me just run in, and so forth and so on. So it is happening because we are disrupting the environment. So as a the environmentalist, the chemical environmentalist, you are going to be looking at different things to preserve the environment, just to make sure that things are fine with the environment, so that we don't get ourselves into any problem. All right. All right, so that's just a quick overview as to what it is that we will look at. As I said before, we'll be having quite a bit of conversation, discussions about things like the different spheres, the mesosphere, the asthenosphere, the atmosphere, showing you things, what really happens, the chemical constituents of the different, gases up there, what film protects the harmful rays from coming down to us, and the things that they cause medically, talk about skin cancers. So it's the environment on a whole that we're going to be looking at. Don't be afraid. It's not gonna it's pretty interesting, but it is also a little, intense in terms of trying to get through the readings and just having a better grasp, a better understanding as to what is happening. Are there any questions before I just quickly move into um, a little demonstration with something here? Any questions?
Not right now, sir.
I was just about to say, at home in a class, on a can't go sleep on me. I don't have any battery. We need a battery gone, but on a can't sleep on me.
But sir, would they you're listening and staying in tune?
Yeah, man, please. All right. All right. I'm gonna see if I can share something here. All right. Give me half a second, please. All right. Hold on to know. I'm trying to share something, but I'm not seeing it. Okay. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir, I'm hearing you.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Good. All right. So let me go back to. Are you seeing the screen also?
I'm seeing chemistry and the environment.
Environment. All right. Good. Because this thing is telling me that when I'm sharing, the audio is. So you're still seeing chemistry and the environment, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good. Hold on. Are you still hearing me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Great. All right. Hold on 1 second, please. All right. So what we have. What we have is something that is called a periodic table. And hold on there now because oh come on, I don't want it like that. I don't want it like that. Today is not working out for me at all. I want to make the changes. I'm going to change it here. All right, so it's not there. All right. I'm clearly not able to. Clearly not able to write on this. Let me just jump to something else. It is not working for me tonight, Lord. All right. Let's see if I can reshare something. I'm not hearing you guys. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
All right. Were you hearing me from before?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So are you seeing the screen?
Periodic table of elements.
Very good. All right. So that's what I wanted to write. I wanted to just draw out something, but the writing component of the thing not working. I need to go sort out what is happening. Maybe the system decides that it's not yet time for school, so nothing seems to be working for me tonight. All right, so we always have backup, so this is our backup. So one of the things that I really want you to be familiar with are some elements of the periodic table, and preferably the first 20 elements of the periodic table.
Was it always this now?
Yes, miss. Plus more.
Plus
Plus
who?
plus more, because there are others down here, and there are some spaces on the periodic table for elements that have not yet been discovered.
My gosh.
All right, so you have more. So this is a periodic table. Now, the conversation that I want us to have, is, and let me just go through this first. So how the periodic table is read, you have hydrogen here, hydrogen, then helium, He, then lithium, Li, beryllium, Be. Now, I don't know if anybody knows guardsman. Guardsman is now beryllium, right? So that Be that is seen as your symbol, it is Be for chemistry, right? So that's a symbol for beryllium. So when was it? Yesterday, Sunday. Yesterday, I went to the machine and I kind of chuckled because when they came to fill up the machine, I looked at their email and it is something like a be that be um, something like a .com. And I was like, they're smart because beryllium, instead of writing out the word beryllium, they're just using the symbol, right? Be. So beryllium, then you have boron, then carbon, then nitrogen, then oxygen, then fluorine, then neon. Then the 11th one is going to be sodium, then magnesium, then aluminum, silicon. Then the 15th one is phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon. And number 19 is going to be potassium and then the 20th one is going to be calcium. So it's the first 20 elements of the periodic table that I'm going to ask you to know. So you should know what they are. So if I say to you, what is the 16th element? You're supposed to be able to say to me that it is sulfur. You're supposed to know it like that, right? And there are other things that we need to know about these elements of the periodic table, and in particular, the first 20 elements of the periodic table. Um, and forgive me, I would have written some stuff, but the tablet, as I said before, is not working with me, and I will soon sort it out. So look at what they did. They pulled out nitrogen. Nitrogen is the seventh element. So they pulled out nitrogen. They pulled out nitrogen. And so what nitrogen here is, nitrogen is N. So the symbol for nitrogen is not Ni. Ni is a different compound, right? So if you look at the word nitrogen, nitrogen, and think that, oh, the symbol is Ni. If you look down here, so a transition metal, you see Ni, and Ni here is going to be nickel. That's a different compound. That's a different element, rather. All right. And many of us own some nickel something and don't even know. Because when you open your cell phones, your battery is a nickel cadmium battery. Some of your watches, especially if you have a smartwatch, is going to be a nickel cadmium battery that you have there.
So, sir, the nickel, it kind of looks silver-ish.
Yes, 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 yes. And these and it's not, and that's why they say to you, never ever play with these batteries, because um they can be poisonous. So they will say, don't destroy the battery in fire. Like for example, your car batteries are filled with something that is called lead, right? And lead, if you look at the screen, lead is all the way down here. No, lead,
PB.
PB, yeah. So lead is something that is very dangerous, but very useful. So when you and I, and this is why I'm saying that the periodic table is very important to know, because when you and I, say for example, I have my car battery that I decided that, sure, I'm gonna throw it away, yeah. And when the garbage truck people come, I said, dash this to me. And they don't have any use for it, and they throw it down to Riverton. What happens to that? You have poisonous liquids that are contained in that car battery, that when you dispose of it and you incinerate it, you burn it into the wood, if a fire down Riverton, and all of that mercury and the lead and everything else gets leached into the soil, gets leached into our water table. Some of it gets leached into NWC's water catchment treatment. What do you think will happen to us? Mm?
Well, it might poison us, or
Absolutely.
do start to
No,
destroy.
stop. You use a wrong word. You said might.
Well, it will, because
Absolutely.
it's very poisonous.
Hmm. So it's very dangerous, extremely dangerous. So that's why we have to err on the side of caution when we are disposing things like those. So normally when I change my car battery, like I need to go and buy a battery for my car, no, I don't carry home the battery. Sir, do you need a battery? No, dispose of it, because they will know how to dispose of it. Is what I'm saying? So I'm not going to do it because I have to take care of the environment. I know the last time I taught this course, I had some students laugh me to scorn. When I say laugh me to scorn, they laugh me to scorn. I remember the laughter in class to the point where me almost vexed because I thought I was doing something wrong when I said to the students, to this very day, I separate my garbage. So anything plastic bottle, anything plastic, my my cooking oil bottle, my deodorant container, my liquid soap bottles, my drinking bottles, the water or juice bottles, my chiffon, anything plastic is separated and tied in a different container, in a different plastic bag. And I don't empty that plastic bag until I have a filled plastic bag to empty. Now the students laugh me to scorn and say, then sir, when it go to Riverton, waiting will happen. And I said, I know. When it goes to Riverton, everything goes into the stuff and everything is burnt. So which is why I know we need people like you who are so trained in environmental studies that Jamaica needs to get to a point where our plastics are separated. Our plastics are separated. I was going to say something to you when I was giving you an overview, and I didn't, but let me say it to you now. It is being theorized. I don't have the scientific proof, but I know conversations are out there as it relates to what is it now? Fish. The constituents of some living fish now is as if they have plastic in their bodies. So it's if when you fry it, it has this sort of pasty sort of look, and researchers are theorizing that because we continue to empty our plastics into the ocean or even on the streets and it gets washed into the ocean, that these aquatic animals are indeed feeding on them. So their bodies now become plasticky. All right. And and of course, if that is the case, the fish would not be very good for us to
And
consume.
sometimes tastes rubbery. Cause I
Yes,
ate a shrimp one day and I didn't really like how the shrimp tasted. You feel like I'm chewing on rubber or
yes,
gum.
miss. Yes, miss. Yes, miss. It is as a result of our disobedience in not taking care of the environment. And one of the things that I keep saying, if you don't take care of the environment will not take care of you. If you don't take care of the environment will not take care of you. So it is very important because it's all those little clams. A little later on in the course, I'll tell you how these barnacles get their shells, attached to them. When we understand more about this carbon and this oxygen, all right, and how the band together to form carbonates and how the carbonates are used in the ocean. So all those stuff we're gonna get into. Very interesting stuff. All right,
One more question, sir. Is
go
it
right
true
ahead.
that pearls are in the clams?
Yes, miss. Yes, miss.
How? Like,
Um, it's one of their byproducts, and they are very expensive byproducts because if you get some nice pearls, you can't afford to pay for them. And guess what? And some of the clams produce pink pearls, and some of them produce variegated color pearls. Of course, you're paying for all of those. But
because at
yes,
the time, fishermen try to fish for those clams,
and they
and
still do. They still do. There's a market out there for them. There's a market out there, and if you go on YouTube, you will see where they just go and fish for clams, and they will sit there because one clam can have as many as 12, quite a number of pearls in there, right? One clam can have many of those. So it's just a byproduct of them. And yeah, So it is, you know, you take care of the environment will take care of you. I keep saying that, that's my mantra. And it's something that I firmly believe in. So we have to take care of the environment. All right. So I want you to look at nitrogen for argument's sake now. So nitrogen is has a symbol N. You have to know the symbols. There's going to be there's going to be a worksheet that I'm going to create it. I'm going to show you a few examples, and then I would love for you to not love. I'm going to require of you to complete that worksheet. It helps you to understand the first 20 elements of the periodic table, and to show you pictorially what it looks like. To show you pictorially what it looks like. So, so nitrogen, for argument's sake, has an atomic number of 7. This atomic number tells the position of the element in the periodic table. This 7 tells us that it is the 7th element in the periodic table. 7, sir? Yes, let us go and check again. This is 1. Then it jump across here to get 2. Then it come back over here. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So N is going to be the chemical symbol of the element. N is a chemical symbol of the element. Each element has its own symbol. Each element has its own symbol. So you're talking about gold. So gold here, AU. AU is gold. You're talking about platinum, PT, right? PT here being platinum. So people wear them something here, the platinum and the gold, and and what is AG?
The bronze, sir, the bronze.
Bronze too, yes, man, yeah. But what is bronze though? How you think they get bronze to, that is
Sir, is it that they can mix them?
absolutely excellent answer.
Isn't it dangerous to mix them, sir?
No, it's just a combination of different metals to get the bronze, you know. It's not dangerous to mix. Um, Funny story though, we had a Tokyo Olympics, don't remind me. Yeah, man,
Yes, sir.
we had a Tokyo Olympics, yeah. So them I tell you, man, them guys smart, you know. Them guys, them guys have a piece of brain that, trust me, I love them. So in Japan they have quite a bit of cell phones, don't? Because they make no cell phones. Most of the cell phones that you see we use out here, in
China,
this region.
Japan, then.
Yes, man. Yeah, man. Them the Chinese people there, them get from them born, them know if to do them something there. So they would have millions of recycled cell phones. So you know the man them do. They their gold, silver, and bronze are the bronze. It's a combination of recycled cellular phones that they melt down and make the medal. And I said to myself, ingenious, very nice. And I'm saying to myself, but them could have also used it and make, what we call figurine, these nice wall plaques and whatever else that they could use it to do. So, recycling is going to be one of the things that we will discuss a lot in this course, because never you say you're going to burn. Burning is a no-no. Burning is a no-no. If you're writing an essay for me and you make the mistake and talk about, oh, and to get rid of this, I'm not gonna
Sir,
burn, you fail.
say that
All
you
of,
are just take off a half mark, sir.
no, all of it is a good essay because we always try to find ways of recycling. So you see, when even if you're going to say to me that your kitchen peels, you're going to be bagging them and sending them to the Riverton City dump, I'm going to say no. We need to recycle. We need to reuse. So your peelings, your planting and your banana and your yam and your pumpkin, go dig one hole at the back of your yard and you throw those peels there. And then you take little dirt and you cover it. And every time you do it, you cover it and you keep turning the soil. Not only that you're enriching that soil area, if you want, if you're planting, say, callaloo now, you just go in that little hole that you have and dig some of that soil and put at the root of that callaloo. You'll get some nice, fat, juicy callaloo leaves there to consume, right? Your plastic bottles, as I said before, you should be able to recycle. I heard recently a conversation, don't remember where, that that they're going to be not only the glass bottles that they recycle, but they're going to also begin the conversation of recycling plastic bottles. And it is true because the plastic bottles are costing not just the government, but the environment a lot of strain. The environment a lot of strain. All right. So, yes, so we need to look at things like those. All right. And then the chemical name, of course, is nitrogen. Of course, we have different types of elements. And not only you need to know how to spell it, but you also need to know a little bit about them. I remember in one of the courses that I did recently, the students were able to identify some minerals and to give me some common uses of minerals. For example, halite. What is halite used for? You know, I remember even looking at some funny story. Funny story. One of my siblings went to Canada in Christmas. Well, just before Christmas, spent Christmas there, and came back and said, brother, I have something to show you. And she went to a museum and she says, what is this? And I looked at it and I said, it's calcite. And she said, how you know? I said, it's calcite. And then when she brought up the other picture, she took the name of the sign and it was indeed calcite. And then she took some other mineral she took and she was asking me and I was saying to her, this is this. And one of the time she said, no, that's not it. I said, no, man, this one is this. And then she looked and said, oh, yes, you're correct. When you learn these minerals, you'll never lose them. And as environmentalists, you will go out into the field to work and you will see these minerals and you should be able to identify them. Should be able to identify them. So when you look at the geology of them, you should be able to. When you look at the chemistry of them, you should be able to tell the makeup of those. All right, very important. And then finally, what it gives you here is the atomic weight. What is the weight of this element? How heavy it is? And it is saying that it's 14 grams. 14 grams. All right, per mole. Now, there's some other things about this that you may not know. And that's why I wanted to show you, but don't worry about it. I have a few more minutes. What I'm going to do is just to talk to you and just see if I can highlight one or two of the stuff. Or maybe I won't even do it. Yeah, let me not do that pictorial with you just yet because you may have a challenge. All right, let me just use it. Let me just use it for no. I'll leave that one alone until afterwards and I can show you pictorially. Now, these elements in the periodic table are arranged in not a random fashion. It is very sequential. It is arranged with a purpose. So if you look at here, going down are my groups. So if you look at it, I'll have 8 groups. Let us check. One group, group 1, group 2. I'm skipping over all of this. Then I'm going to go to group 3, group 4, group 5, group 6, group 7, and group 8. Now, I just said that this is group 5. Can you see that this is, can you agree with me that this is group 5? Hello?
Sir, I'm not understanding why you say it's group 5.
All right, so let's go again. I'm counting the columns. So each column is a group. So this is group 1. All of that is group 1. Then all of this is group 2. Then I'm skipping over these transition elements. And I soon come to those transition elements, and I'm not talking about them tonight. I'm skipping over all of that. Then I'm going to go here and call this 3. Then all of this is going to be 4. Then all of this is going to be 5. Then all of this is going to be 6. All of this is going to be 7. And then all of this is going to be 8. Follow me?
Yes, sir.
So there are 8 groups.
Yes,
So
sir.
this one here is group 5. Can you agree that this is group 5?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. Now, let me just show you something. I say I wasn't going to do it, but because I talk about group 5, I just have to touch base with it. So when you look at the atomic number, there is something that is called the configuration, and it is called the electronic configuration. And these transition metals, as the word suggests, transition. When you transition means that you can change the form. The form can be changed. All right. For example, chromium, manganese, they have different from iron. When you have the oxidation of iron, it moves from one color to the next, right? What did I just do a while ago? Can you see it better now? No, yeah,
Yes,
still see this.
sir.
Yeah, man, it's more sharp. I don't know what I just did a while ago, but let me not even trouble it
Sir,
because
you
it's
zoom out. That's why.
oh, it's much clearer to me now. All right. So this is group 5. So I want to watch something here. Let us look at the atomic number. The atomic number is 7. Now, one of the things that I'll say to you is, and I'm not including this configuration for the transition metals, because for the transition metals, it's different. But you will have things that are called orbitals or shells, right? Orbitals, or they're also called shells. Now, the first shell can hold a maximum of 2 electrons, and the second shell holds a maximum of 8 electrons. And then when you move up to a higher stuff, you can hear that it can hold a maximum of 18 electrons, but we're not going there so yet. Right? So we are going to say that the K, the L, and the M shell, K, L, and M, the K shell can hold 2, the L shell holds 2, and the, sorry, 8, and the M shell also holds 8. So when you look at this, you're going to take 2, so you're going to have 2, 5. So why 2, 5? Because if the first shell can hold 2 electrons, that means you're going to have 5 electrons out. Talk truth.
Yes, sir.
Come on. So the electronic configuration of nitrogen is going to be 2, 5. The last configuration tells us what group the element falls in. So we know it's 2, 5. So we know that nitrogen is in the 5th group. So let's go check again. Group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5. Now I'm going to tell a story. You see, every one of these um
Has 5 at the end.
very good. So the nitrogen, the phosphorus, the arsenic, the whole of them, the bitumen, the whole of them have 5 electrons in its outer shell. 5 electrons in its outer shell. All right, all of those. So that's what we look at the electronic configuration. Now the electronic configuration is an exercise that I'm going to give you to do for homework, but you don't have to worry about it. I'm going to generate something, post it to your canvas, and then you're going to complete the stuff for me. All right. Now, when you look at all of these here, they all have 1 electron in its outer shell. That's why they're in group 1. So I'm saying to you, what you and Benika have in common, um, Ali, is that you guys are doing a bachelor's in environmental studies. It's oh sir, but we may have other things that are common. True, you both are females. But sir, we can find something that is not common. We both work somewhere different. Sure. Something else that is not common. We are of a different age. Something else that is not common. Where you live, right? So in this thing here, one of the things that is going to be common is the number of electrons in its outer shell. And as you go down the group, these atoms become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So hydrogen is up top. It little bit. Lithium under hydrogen is still a little bit, but it is bigger than hydrogen. Is it sodium? Sodium still a little bit. But sodium for sure is going to be bigger than lithium, which is also bigger than hydrogen. Potassium, rockstone, hey, it big, but it little. It is bigger compared to sodium, compared to lithium, compared to hydrogen. But there's something else that takes place with all of that. The reaction for these increases. The reaction for these increases as you go down the group. And I will tell you why sometime later, why the reaction is so explosive. Now, if you get a sodium piece of metal or strip, and you decide, say, you can drop it in water, hey, try and make sure, say, you can run faster than Usain Bolt here, because it's going to react with it explosively. When I
Yes,
say,
sir. That's the one thing I was thinking about because there's a lot of persons like to do experiments on bombs and explosions and all of that.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It reacts explosively, and you are going to be, you have to know it. As I speak, as I spoke about the bombs, Ali. Let me
Russia.
just tell you, huh?
Russian came to mind.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, that place. I'm not even going to discuss them because Vladimir may be listening on to my class and sending people to my Jamaica come look for me. But I want to say Vladimir and just give him a piece of my mind. But anyhow, um, when you look at, ay, ay, ay. You see, the studying of the environment, students, is is one that comes with a bang, because if you're in the business of cesspool um here, you own a company, and you see hot girls like you two, well, hot girls like you three in the class may say, oh no sir, I will never go and work into one of those cesspool empty. No, me too hot to go to that. Hello, it's where the money is.
The
Is where the
dirtiest
money
job
is.
is the richest job.
Mhm. I came across, it is so funny that Benika is here now that I'm going to say what I'm going to be saying. Not sure if she's hearing me, but um, while I was teaching geology in the summer, I saw, it could be one of the days after class, I saw a number in my cell phone, and I said, oh, I wonder if this student is in Jamaica. And oh, let me tell you what happened. I saw the student post a picture on WhatsApp, and I said, but it's long time I don't see a posting on my phone on this stuff. I said, let me check to see if the number still belongs to the student. So I called the student by name John Brown, and the student said, yes, who is this? I said, and you went to Excelsior Community College? Who is this? And I said, and you studied tourism? And I was just going to go through because, and I said, no, this is strange. I don't know who it is that I'm talking to, and I'm not giving out any more information. Who is this? And I said, okay. And I identified myself. I said, oh my goodness, sir. So I said, where are you? Are you in the hotels working? No, Mark, the student studied hospitality and tourism management. The student worked at Sandals and the student worked at all these places and did front office operations, right? And the student said, sir, you wouldn't guess what it is that I'm doing as a job now. I was like, nope. She said, oh, I am in water resources. I was like, what do you mean by that? I go and test water, and I will go and we fix up cesspools and we fix up the stuff. I was like, I don't, and say, well, sir, yep. And it pays because they have a contract with NEPA. And so like swimming pools around the place, they will go and public pools, they will go and take water samples. So you see like UWI pool and UTEX pool and the high schools that have pools where you have the public using, even though it's refined to all the student in say for example St. Andrew High School for girls, the authority people come in there unannounced. Them just turn up and they say, I am here from um, the Water Resources Authority um, to do samples. And them can't tell them, say them can't do it. And they will go and they will take the samples, several samples of the water, and they go back to the lab and test it. And I can tell you what happened. I'm associated one of the pools, one of the public pools, and the authorities shut it down. Literally shut it down recently in the summer. Shut it down. And what they had to do was to go on and do the water treatment. So they don't empty the pool. They have to go and treat the water and let the water settle. I don't know if it is that um, they found E. coli. I don't know if they found
was thinking
any.
about. Mhm.
Huh?
No, sir, I was thinking about the same Mr. E. coli.
Right, yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't know if it was E. coli that they found in it or whatever stuff, but they found stuff. And guess what? Not only that, the institution had to to fix it, but they were fined because you can't have a public something that is not. No, them find them, and they had to close the pool down. I think the pool was closed down for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, something like that, because they had to go in and treat it, let it settle, because they have to now go in there and chlorinate it. They'll have, or it could also be a buildup of algae in the water. You don't want to inhale all of them something there, right? And they had to do it, settle the pool. They had to be flushing the pool. When I say flushing, the filters must be changed and the whole stuff. And let it settle, and the Water Resources Authority will have to come in now to test over a period of time before the pool could be reopened. Yes, man, serious stuff. So those are other areas the environmental studies students can move into. So this student in particular said, no, sir, this is what I'm doing. And I said, so how you get into that? And I said, boy, sir, long story, but it was a family business, and people get tired and them say, come, it's your turn to run it. And I'm doing it there now, sir. And I used to dress up and go to work. Now I'm putting on water boots and a pair of jeans, and I'm very dirty when I finish work, and I have to shower before I leave out because I'm so dirty. I was like, wow. And you see this person wouldn't know what this person is doing, but there is money in it. There is money in it. It is helping to protect the environment. That's what it is, right? So it's, you know, as a quick introduction to the periodic table, the truth of the matter is, as you descend the group, these things get more reactive. One of the things I'll say to you, if, for example, your pit at home, that's if you live in one of those non-developed housing schemes. The housing schemes have a centralized um, water purification system.
Or is it underneath the road or something like that? The pipes
No, man, no,
road.
it is what area you live in. Don't have to give me exact what area, general
Manly
area.
Meadows.
Okay. Mm, mm.
I normally see the sewage water come up in a circular thing on the road, and it's
Right.
pretty often that the sewage water comes up.
Yes, because it means that it is it is filled. Manly made. I don't know if Manly has.
Near normal Manly Boulevard when you're heading towards airport.
Right. I will need to double check on that. I'm going to see if I can double check before the next class and come back to you. Venika, what general area are you?
Permacal, but I know that Corville has its
Yes.
sewage
Yes.
treatment thing. Yes, it look
Yes.
like the water commission plant. The sewage.
Right. So Venika know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's why I'm asking for that. So if you live in Pembroke, if you live along Malines Road, just almost to the Marvelly, it's like you see like a NWC treatment plant, and that's exactly what it is. So they actually process all of those. Now, these are things that I'm going to be teaching you in this course. Um, Primary treatment of sewage, secondary treatment of sewage, tertiary treatment of sewage. You'd have done one or two of you'd have done this in one of the
Waste.
Waste and
courses, waste and water management, right? And I'm here to say to you, the tertiary water treatment water is re-entered into the NWC's system.
Mhm.
So don't believe say it's just rainwater alone that gives us water for potable use. You have the recycled water also. Life is a cycle, and it's one of the things that we're going to be looking at in the course. Again, as I keep making reference to, we're going to be looking at the water cycle. Um, and we're going to be looking at the nitrogen cycle also, because you know there are some things that the plant will need to grow. Nitrogen is one.
oxygen.
No, not the oxygen. Nitrogen, potassium, and potassium is a K, and the phosphorus. So when you hear the components of these fertilizers, you often hear they talk about N, this N up here, so P, this phosphorus, and K, the potassium. So NPK. So when you're doing your fertilizers, if it don't have the NPK, it means, boy, now add nothing to the soil, right? So we're going to look at the nitrogen cycle also. Um, but finally, before we cut off, one of the things that I want to say to you is this sodium, how the sodium becomes very important is that you have sodium hydroxide pellets. Interesting story though.
It in
You see,
drinks.
you see our bath soap.
Yes, sir.
It's made from sodium hydroxide, eh?
Yes, that being.
Ah, no, no, man. It is good, but guess what happened now? One of the soaps that I don't like to use is Dove because it can't wash off.
Make it even worse, yes,
You can't wash off. But but somebody will say to you, but that's good because what it does, it leaves some moisture on your skin. When you bathe with a soap like all, Irish
Like
Spring.
the shampoo, not the shampoo, the bath soap them, sir.
The body wash.
Body
Yes.
wash.
Some of the body wash you can't wash off, but some of the body wash when you finish wash off, you crisp.
Dry as chips.
Dry, Irish
Dried and
Spring,
chips,
I mean.
Vanika.
That's all I
Dried
need.
and
Soap. Dry
and,
as chips.
and if you don't lotion, your skin will crack up. Literally.
And
All
turn
right?
white.
And turn white, yeah. Now, the sodium hydroxide, one of the constituents of soap making is sodium hydroxide. But I'm going to tell you, one of the constituents of cleaning your cesspool is using sodium hydroxide pellets. So what the man them will do is to know the volume of your cesspool. They will know what you need to do. You see, when you look, you see when it's a morning, God's willing, go around your house and look and see if you see um some little concrete structure by your bathrooms. Every bathroom supposed to have one.
The pit.
I
Pit.
mean by concrete structure, sir.
Um,
Like the water drainage or something like that.
like the water drainage, yeah.
Okay.
Now there is another one that is beneath the surface that carries the sewage. So the one that is surface will carry the liquid, the gray water, the water from your shower and the water from your face basin, right?
Mm.
And you'll hear me talk about gray water more. You should have done this in wastewater management and how important gray water is for irrigation, etc., etc. But um, the one that is beneath the surface of the side of your house that leads directly to the pit, it uses it to. It's because it is so slippery. You see all of those feces from your bathroom because sometimes you flush, and the feces don't reach into the pit, because it gets stuck along the journey somewhere. And you will know because you may have this very foul odor coming from
Yes.
your
Yes,
bathroom.
sir.
And especially if you live into those areas where you have the NWC water treatment.
Yes.
Sometimes this have the smell because it means that it needs to be treated. No.
Also in
Um
school.
go ahead.
Because oh
Go ahead.
oh I was saying that before I used born and grown in Red Hills, I used to the fit. Everybody have them personal fits at them house and see
Mm-hmm.
all of them some there. So when I moved now and went to Corville at the time,
Mm-hmm.
I'm complaining and said to the landlord, hey, you need to go clean the pit.
All right.
Apparently just buy the house and stuff, so she never know. It's
Mm-hmm.
summer came because they must say we'll probably have to go through some acid in there, probably
Right.
they tell me that no, it can't do like that. It's
Mm-hmm.
actually a treatment plant. And occasionally
Absolutely.
when times get really hot, the
Mm-hmm.
scent come back now into the
Mm-hmm.
system. It not only coming through the toilet, it coming through the kitchen sink because it's
Yes.
one same
Yes.
God.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
I didn't know.
Yes. And if you have a washroom too, it come up right through the washroom. So you know what you have to do? Plug those holes.
Yes.
You have to plug the holes, or else you can't sleep in another place because it's a pungent smell,
Mhm.
right? But the truth of the matter is, if you use that, because it reacts so explosively with water, you can actually have an explosion of the cesspool of the pit. And just imagine you have that shitty explosion. Oh my God! Yeah, it is. So I don't know. So I don't know if you can see the importance now of chemistry in the environment. I gave you enough proof, I would believe. Recently those people in Trelawney said that they found gold. We talk about the cesspool. We talk about the whole business of recycling. We talk about the dump. And that's just one aspect because I don't even reach the atmosphere yet. I don't even reach the ocean yet. We don't talk about the lithosphere yet. Um, you know, it is expansive. It is a nice area of study. Um, when you're finished, you should be able to say to your and one of the areas that you could go into work again is in the manufacturing industry, and you are going to be the person responsible for things like these. So you will say to them, say, boy, I hear the plan. We need to clean our pit ever so often so that the smell does not come back up because we're looking after food and it is a hazard, right? So there are so many areas that one can engage in so that we can, you know, we can find employment in these areas. You know, you can go into the hotel to work as an environmentalist. You can teach. You can go into NEPO. You can go into field work. You can go anywhere because of the study of the environment. All right. So amidst the hiccups that we had, the start of the class, well, that I had at the start of the class, and my writing tablet not being able to work well, we were still, and Venica on our way home, we were still able to do the a little introduction. I know there's work for us to do. I'm going to start that worksheet. I'm also going to be sending off that worksheet and the syllabus, the course outline to you. I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. Are you guys part of a WhatsApp? I know I created a WhatsApp group for the bachelor students.
Yes, sir, you can just add her in there and take out the graduate students.
All right, so I'll just remove the graduate students and then add you guys to it so we can do the stuff. All right, thanks for coming out. It's going to be a lot of reading. I'm also now going to be sending some stuff just for you to read, and I'm not frightening you, but all I'm saying to you, I really want you to read widely and just understand the things that are happening. Recycling, reusing stuff, and you should be fine. You should be fine. All right. Thanks for coming out.
You're welcome, sir.
Have a
Bye.
good night.
One more thing, Benika,
Yes.
you can collect your graduation certificate for your associates starting tomorrow, okay?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
The
Graduation.
email just sent out.
Oh, graduation gone already?
No, I think if it's not next week, it's the week after.
No, next week Thursday, the 16th.
Sir, I'm not going.
Why you not going?
Sir, because it not make no sense. You go to service for the associate and then go to service again for the bachelors.
No, that's fine. So you collect your certificate already?
No, sir, that's what I just read.
Okay, all right, cool.
You can have an award. You can go collect
No,
it.
you get award. I don't get any award.
No, but me I say if me I forgo graduation, cause me not with graduation.
You
You
don't
guys
have-
That's all right, sir.
No, you don't have to. No, you see, the truth of the matter is you can do the graduation when you finish your bachelor's. It's weaker.
And I
Yes.
think Excelsior robbed me, no, sir, because I paid the full 15.5 for the photo.
Wow, that's a lot.
And I'm hearing that other students paid just only for the photo.
Then
Don't
one
mind.
of the graduation.
You need to go have a conversation with them here, please. Go and have a conversation tomorrow with them on that matter.
Yes, sir, we're gonna find out what is going on, because if we can get a little extra change in my pocket, sir, why not?
Something too. Anyhow, have a good one here. Be safe.
Yes, sir.
Take care. Bye bye.
Right.
I got it.